In sports, winning is everything. Athletes work day in and day out in hope of reaching greatness. In almost any sport, winning the number one spot in your respective field will put you at the top and in the spotlight for a long time, to be honest. Unfortunately, that's not really the case when it comes to track. And when it comes to sprinting, you can't be seen as a dominant athlete if you only won one or two times. You have to consistently keep winning to prove that you are the best. And if you win on the biggest stage, such as the Olympics, you'll be able to enjoy that glory for a little while. But it's not going to last long. It's going to last up until the World Championships roll around and the Olympics roll around. And if you can't continue to produce that same dominance, people are going to call you a bust, which is, I think that's one of the worst titles that you can be called as an athlete. And unfortunately, it's looking like that's the road that Marcell Jacobs is going to take. In Tokyo, it wasn't good, man. And after just getting tainted with injuries and inconsistent performances, the mounting pressure to prove his dominance is just overwhelmed him, I think. Born in El Paso, Texas, to an Italian mother and an American father, Jacobs moved to Italy at a young age. His athletic prowess was evident early on, but he initially pursued a career in long jump. People were even trying to say that he was going to be the next Carl Lewis and stuff like that. And even though he was going to show promise in long jump, he just kept facing recurring injuries, which made him shift to sprinting in 2018. And this decision proved to be transformative. That parade from Tokyo was short-lived. Jacobs' post-Olympic career has been plagued by injuries. He struggled with recurring muscular issues, particularly in his hamstrings, which significantly hampered his ability to compete. These injuries led to sporadic race schedules, denying him the opportunity to build on his Olympic success and establish himself as a consistent force in sprinting. He's basically somebody like Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, somebody that you know can be great, but injuries just be holding them back. 2023 World Championships. However, his performance was underwhelming. He failed to advance past the semifinals in the 100, finishing behind American sprinter Noah Lyles, who went on to win gold, who had just stepped down from the 200 down to the 100. This just made the gap between his potential and his actual performances just grow even farther. The disappointment at the World Championships was a significant blow to Jacobs' reputation. His inability to replicate his Olympic form raised questions about his status as a top-tier sprinter, and critics began to argue that his Olympic victory was a fluke rather than a sign of sustained excellence. In the world of athletics, especially track and field, consistency is key, and Jacobs' erratic race schedule and lack of significant victories since Tokyo have made a shadow over to questioning his capability to remain competitive at the highest level. The comparison with other sprinters like Noah Lyles, who has shown consistency and resilience throughout his whole career, and his ability to perform well in major championships, and on top of that, his charisma has cemented his status as a leading sprinter, while Jacobs' sporadic appearances and underwhelming performances have diminished his standing and made the audience really estimate him. Despite the challenges, Jacobs' story is far from over. To reclaim his reputation and establish himself as a dominant sprinter, he must address both his physical and mental hurdles. I think proper injury management, consistency in competing, and overall gaining confidence in himself again, I think that once he gets all that figured out, he can make his way back to becoming an elite sprinter, because I still feel like he still has a few years of proficiency in track once he gets all that stuff out the way. And Jacobs is literally a symbol of how nothing is set in stone in sports, especially in track and field, because track and field, one injury could end your whole career. You're done. And the fact that he just continuously is getting hurt and is not able to get back up to, he surprises everybody, but